Ooh, it is chilly out here. I wasn't throwing hand signs. I was kind of keeping my hands together. It's chilly. It's a chilly morning or chilly afternoon. They calling for snow. It's windy, but they're calling for snow up here. So we'll see if it snows or not. But it's funny, I was so active this summer playing pickleball, really working out. Uh, as I said before, with sports come injuries. And that's just part of sports. Sports and injuries come together. And so I saw um, my foot doctor, my pediatrician, and he like looked at my Achilles, my repaired Achilles, and he was like, "Yeah, you probably need some therapy." I'm like, "Oh, all right, I'll go to therapy." And so I went to therapy this morning. She had me doing some shit, and I'm sore as hell. And she's rubbing on my shit, and my shit's hard. It's like, oh. So, but it was like, I guess I did need it. But next year, and that's where shoes come in. Shoes come in. But I guess the thing to talk about now is the NBA trades. So they did get rid of Harding. Now I don't understand getting rid of Curry. Curry was an alternate ball handler and an alternate scorer. Hey, Derek, what's happening? So I'm not understanding why they got rid of Curry. And then again, Curry and Patty Mills Curry's just a little bit bigger than Patty Mills, so why go to Patty Mills? I didn't get that. Hiding the Sixers makes me think it's going to be Sixers and championship. See, that's what I said last night. Even before this trade, I thought that they're going to be in the championship. And you can look back at my video last night on the Chocolate Mountain Show, and I said that very thing. I just said that's the way it looks. It looks like they're going to go to that. So that doesn't surprise me. I mean, like they said, they do get better on defense, but Seth really, when they needed a punch for scoring, Seth was consistent. Harding's game is just like he was good at Houston. If he really had a business sense about him, he would have stayed in Houston and said, "Okay, I'm gonna score 30 every game." That's the kind of dude he is. He's the lovable loser. I mean, I did the video on Ginobili on my other channel. Remember, they was in the NBA final or in the finals, conference finals, and at the end of the game, he didn't get a shot off because Ginobili blocked his shot. Hey, West Side, the NBA is so boring. So Ginobili blocked his shot. So that's James Harding for you. You really believe that slow foreigner blocked his shot? There's no way. Porzingis got traded too. I forgot who, but he got traded. Porzingis got traded. Now, this is the one that really kind of pisses me off is, okay, Davicino, Vinny, I think his name, he went to Villanova, won the finals, showed some athleticism, Duncan. He got traded. Now, I've always talked about Shotty Vaughn. I personally know Shotty Vaughn. Shotty Vaughn was the #1 pick of the Bucks in, let me see, 13, 14 or 15. He was only a year or two after Giannis. Shotty 6'6", plays good defense, good outside shooter. Hey, Moray, Shotty's been out the league. This is his 4th season out the league. And now they get rid of Vinny Davicino. Basically, a littler dude than Shotty. That dude is only 6'4", never consistent. Was hurt. Remember, he didn't even play in the finals. So, but Porzingis, that build is going to hurt him. That's why when Chet Holmgren goes into the league, they better be on the weights before he goes in. Same built kind of dude. Chet, defensively wise, is better than Porzingis. But then again, with him playing the 5, I mean, what are he going to do with Embiid without, help? He going to be like Porzingis, have to play 4 because he can't guard 5s with that body size, So the media is talking like Brown about to leave. I played D3 college baseball, and I can say, at least as far as I know, our games were on the level were not scripted. I talked before, I played in Division II, and I can't like really what it is if it's money on the game, if it's bets on the game and a spread like you see now, my college basketball game is a spread on every game, so all the games is fixed. I think I made a video a year ago showing a black college or HBCU, whichever you want to call it, you know, where it didn't make sense to score or something at the end of the game. I was just watching another black college where like they gave up 6 points. I mean, the team still won, but you could see it was point spread. You know, I mean, point shaving. It was point shaving. It was clearly an example of point shaving. So the thing is, you know, more than likely your games. Now, my games, sometimes I didn't understand why we only played. We played a 4-4-3, and our coaches love to blitz, but that puts your DBs in one-on-one. Like the ex-Redskin Charlie Brown killed us my freshman year. Killed us. I think he caught 2 or 3 touchdowns on K-Rob. And so we blitzing all the time, but we wasn't getting the quarterback. That's my point. It's like we did all that blitzing, and a lot of times we didn't even get the quarterback. We didn't even really hurry him. So that I didn't understand. Like we had no other, there was no other defense but the 4-4-3. Like they never really switched it. They never switched the linebacker out, you know, for more of a safety type to go to safety. That made me wonder why. Now the Tennessee State game we got beat in, they took 2 touchdowns away from us. That game appeared to be fixed. They took 2 touchdowns, supposedly holding. We running traps. How much holding is going to be in a trap? The trap is in the legal blocking zone. No, you can't hold, but you don't need to hold when you trapping the dude and dude don't see you. So both bogus. Both calls was bogus. So that was a scripted game for sure. But some others, it's hard to say. You know, it's hard. I would say no. I just didn't see. And again, I didn't know not till I quit playing. I didn't know, you know, the dudes to take the bets and stuff. So I would say no. But this Harding, just don't know. You're going to put the ball in his hand and not in Embiid's, because Harding is dribble to get by you. And he'll take them lazy threes in a second. He is, I don't know. Do you think Quib fight was scripted? Of course. Shit. Every boxing match since Ali beat Sonny Liston in 64, all of them been scripted. Now, there are a few fights where they make a fight. And I gave the example, Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson. It was a point where Mike was kind of floating. Mike was like, and then in the 3rd round, he got hit with a combination where he had to fight. And it was like, you could see in his eyes, it was a change. It was like, you could really see that he was going to get hit back. And so, but all major sports, fighting, everything is scripted. All of them. And somebody was on my left comments and shit saying that too many people would know, but no. It's like government corruption. Everybody don't know. And I said this before, everybody don't have to know. Analytics show you that. You put slow on fast, weak on strong. That's analytics. And so you put this slow DB on this fast receiver, more than likely the receiver gonna get by him. So that's how they script it as well, is the defensive sets and the offensive sets. You know, I remember the Vikings Saints game where the miracle play at the end, the Vikings kneeled after the TD instead of kicking the extra point. Kicking the extra point would have covered the spread. Yeah. But that one, you know, and that's one thing I hate about my channel being taken down. I broke that one down beautifully because I proved where the Saint player knocked his own man out the way. The Saints player, the safety or DB, knocked his player out the way so Riggs could get the touchdown. I mean that, and then they was interviewing the dude, and he's like, "Well, if I ever let that happen again, I shouldn't be in the league." I mean, what was he gonna say? He was told to do that. That's why I say they be all of them wear earbuds. And they tell him to react. You can see it in baseball. Missed this one. Air. So, you know, they follow a tight script. They follow a tight script, and I think it's obvious. And then football is, you know, now like what we facing with football and the ritual. I mean, it is really a evil event. It's really an evil event. If y'all remember Katy Perry, she came out with that red, and I forget which beast was feeding that day, but it was like, it was just totally evil looking. And I'm looking at this, and it is the most evil, bloodthirsty ritual we have in America every year. As I said, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, it was 22 people that died leading up to entertainers, and that's who gets killed, is entertainers and football players. Talked about last night, Ginobili's, or not Ginobili, but the baseball player's brother, supposedly killing himself. What is the odds? Joe Burrow, the new Brady. You know, I am kind of leaning that way. I mean, listening to Rambo and Zach, they plead a good case that Brady beat the Rams to get his first one. The Rams was a new team. Rams did win one Super Bowl. They've lost one. They lost one. Could be. It's still, the history of the NFL is not to let new teams win. It just, most sports are like baseball is not like that, but basketball and football, even college basketball and even college football, they tend not to. That's why college football don't want a playoff. They don't want one of them small colleges to win it all and get that money. Yeah, I am glad I missed that weekend performance. But I mean, it has turned in such an evil event, and we all celebrate the evilness. That's the funny part. Like you don't hear, I think I'm the only one telling people and talking about how evil the Super Bowl is. It is an evil event full of blood sacrifice. And we celebrate it. 30, 40 million people gonna watch it. It is like what they used to say, it's a cry and a shame. It's a crying shame, a cry and a shame. Really is. That we participate in this type of evil. And again, it's a personal choice. Most people don't look at it as that. They don't think that it's that deep, but it really is that deep. I mean, it's really been like that. I mean, Hollywood, if you study Crowley put Hollywood together for real, for ritual. That is what Crowley did. They went to them peoples. Them peoples went to Crowley and said, how do we keep this energy? How do we bring it through? We want to bring this evil through. Now, what made Crowley go crazy is that Crowley didn't get credit. Crowley showed them how to do it, showed them all the rituals, and they like pushed him to the side. Didn't need him anymore. We already got your magic. People think it's just about a football game, a Freemason sport. Yeah. It's like what did they say in movies? It's more than a game. That wasn't even every other Sunday. It was another football movie that said it's more than a game. Oh, rollerball. You know, rollerball shows you. Also, remember in rollerball, it was like in the championship game because they wanted Jonathan out. They said no rules. Remember in rollerball? They said no rules. And players went along with it. Players went along with it. The other players went along with it. Remember, they was killing each other. Motorcycles blowing up, motorcycles running over people. In the original rollerball, which had flat screen TVs in the 70s, y'all remember, had flat panel TVs in the 70s, you know, put on the walls. So you think this technology ain't been around for a long time. In the 70s, flat panel TVs on the walls in the movie. I mean, the tuck rules show you It was something that had never really been applied before. They tried to show a play. Well, we called it here. Okay, 2 plays in 100 years. And that to me, more than anything, the Tuck rule proves sports are fixed. I mean, they changed it on the fly. That is what made Goodell the commissioner. He was the commissioner because he's the one that came up with the Tuck rule. Because they were scrambling. They did not want Al Davis to move ahead and win a Super Bowl that year, because the Raiders would have. They probably won 2 years in a row. I agree with Charles Woodson. They'd have probably won 2 years in a row. The team was that good. But again, the script, they hate the Raiders. They hated Al Davis. Al Davis was one of the few that fought the NFL and technically won. The USFL beat the NFL, and then the cronies in the government, they gave him $1. They said that they agreed it was a monopoly, and they agreed they were trying to stifle the USFL. And instead of enriching the USFL, they mocked them and destroyed the league. And Donald Trump helped destroy the league too. I've talked about that before, where Donald Trump, by destroying the USFL, by having them play in the fall instead of the spring, which they had 3 popular seasons in the spring. And here comes Donald Trump buying the Generals. That's why him and Herschel Walker are cool. He had Doug Flutie, but Donald Trump ruined them, because they had promised Donald Trump to bring him. And I talked about this before on Slideshow, but they had promised Donald Trump they was going to bring the New Jersey Generals into the league, and then they didn't. That's why Trump went after him. You guys remember when Trump went after the NFL, and I'll say this: Kaepernick. Trump used Kaepernick. Kaepernick was working with Trump. I mean, I don't know any other way that you could look at that. He was working with Trump. Kaepernick was under Trump, and that is why. And the NFL took a hit. They took a big hit. Bengals have been CP3, never winning a big one. I just find it hard to believe that they're going to let Bengals go and win. I'm having a feeling they make Bengals lose by a field goal. And I said, even though I think the uniforms are clever, overall, that pattern is not really marketable. You just don't see people wearing Bengals shit. Hell, I got a Ram hat. I think I got an old and a new Ram hat. Maybe it's kind of old now, but I don't have a Bengals hat. I mean, I'm an Eagles fan and a Viking fan, but it's not a marketable thing. It's really, the Bengals aren't marketable like that. And it's not the small town thing. I just haven't seen any of their gear that just catches your eye and just, that you'd want to wear it. I don't think so. But we'll see. We'll see how this is done. Bengals will win. You're the Tiger. I still just, I just don't know. I don't know. And perhaps, I mean, the Brown family goes back to the NFL since the 50s. When Paul Brown was, and I've talked before, Cleveland, which are named after Paul Brown, and they screwed him around and kicked him out of his own team. But again, he had to get the monies from others. And before he did the Bengals, but there was another league where, a lot of Otto Graham's record come from that other league, not necessarily the NFL. I want to say the 49ers was in that league too, and they merged. They merged in the 50s or early 60s. No, I want to say they merged in the mid 50s because the Browns had kicked ass in that other league, and they brought in the Browns. I want to say they brought in the 49ers too. But that was another league that played. But as I was talking about, go back to the 1933 game and look at that picture of the Chicago Inn Hewitt, the last player not to wear a helmet. And look at it in full speed, but look at the picture first. The picture is too good. I mean, the photography back then wasn't great. To get that picture precisely of him doing that pitch, I mean, it just appeared scripted. I mean, how do you get that perfect picture back in 1933 of a player that makes the perfect pitch and you showing a player without a helmet? I mean, this is what they wanted you to see. And then in 37, winning 73-0 against Sammy Baugh, who had wanted it. Let me see. Let me get it right. 1940, before the war, they beat Sammy Baugh and them 73-0. And in 37, Sammy Baugh had won the championship. So you telling me that team was that inept And if you watch it at that game, it's a bunch of that TV tackling. Watch that 1940 game. A bunch of that TV tackling again, movie tackling. It just makes no sense. NFL, some of the most random MVPs. Mark Mosley, a kicker, won once. Boomer. Peyton Manning, Steve McNair won. 04. Matt Ryan, 16. Really random. Didn't Cam Newton? Cam Newton, I think, won MVP too one year. I think you could add Cam to that list. Yeah, it has been. It's like when you look at Adrian Peterson being put out of the league for a year at his peak. Do you think that's that? Adrian Peterson, the year they made him sit out for spanking his son, which was bullshit, he was at his peak. That him putting him out is just as significant as what was done to Ali, where Ali didn't fight for 3 years. That year hurt him tremendously. He was never the same player when he came back. Because remember, he missed Eric Dickerson, and that was on purpose. He missed Eric Dickerson's record by 4 or 5 yards of going whatever Eric Dickerson's record was. They purposely didn't give him. Like Jefferson. Jefferson was about to break Randy Moss's record, and they didn't throw him the ball. And we can even go back to Barry Sanders when Barry Sanders was a rookie, and they held him out. Because of Barry Sanders, what was it? If he got 1,000 yards, he was going to get a $100,000 bonus. And they held him out of the last game. Because he, it was all about the money. And Detroit's always been a cheap team. Cheap, but as long as they sell out, they don't care. And they'll never win it. The Lions will never win it. Titans would never win it. Cardinals would never win it. I mean, those are 3 teams that will never win it. Hey, Greg, what's happening? Hey, Jay. So I just don't really, I don't know. I do understand Year of the Tiger, all the Tiger references, but when you look at marketing, and they let Seattle win, and maybe you could say the same thing when the Saints won. I mean, those are newer teams that have won in the last 20 years. Can't count the Colts because the Colts won in Baltimore. So I understand that, but okay. Low key Patriots jerseys merch wasn't the best, but the script was too strong after Patriot. I think their jerseys got better over time. Maybe Bengals get new jerseys. I'm gonna say this. I really like the Patriots jerseys now with the stripes here. I do. The red, white, and blue though thing is not my thing, but I like the new jerseys. I like the Colts jerseys. I think the Colts all white look really impressive. I like that Colts and they all white. But again, I got a Rams jersey. The Bengals dark, unless they wear black with the orange. That orange just doesn't mix well. Like I was saying, my friend that I got to bring her on because she sells crystals and shit, and she sells hoodies. But like one of her hoodies looked like the New York Knicks colors, and it's like, oh, she got out. Oh, that's somebody else. When you design clothes like that, you got to understand the sporting teams, because more than likely it's going to look like somebody's sporting teams. So they got to sell those winter jerseys. Nobody going to buy Bengals. Yeah, ain't nobody going to buy Bengals hats. Ain't nobody going to buy Bengals jerseys. Now they might buy the Super Bowl hat jersey, but that's it. It is not going to do anything for their merch at all. Or the league. Bengals gonna win. Rams sheep. Well, okay, let's look at it this way too. If you look at it like an entity, the Ram, the GOAT is backed. As Brother Bomber, as Seven Bomber was saying, it's a fight between the goats and the serpents. And so in this thing, and remember, cats, they say cats and snakes are ran together. So you can kind of look at that even. Or yeah, cats, not tigers, but so you got that goat entity right there. So I mean, the Rams ain't called the Rams for nothing. You know, we them peoples, you know, they believe in the ram. You look at Moses. Moses got horns, which is, I would say, more Marduk than a real person, because Marduk has horns. So I don't know if they're gonna let that goat lose. Let me see. Did I miss this one? The Bengals talks about how good the Bengals odds were to make the Super Bowl, showing owners definitely bet. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They bet on their own teams. In the 0-1, I've seen, not because Arizona, but because of how exciting it was. Oh, man, I don't know about that. You put Riviera in there. And one thing I was saying as I was watching that game, Riviera don't give up hits. He doesn't give up hits. And all of a sudden he giving up hits. Yeah, you don't think that one was scripted. That was totally scripted. Riviera come in there in the 9th and he don't shut them down. Come on. And you know, Jeter was on that team, and that's my homeboy. And when we went to the same high school. Did you see my message up above about the kicker for the Bengals? He's going to scapegoat, I think. He's going to be the scapegoat. Yeah. Do a Norrell or Noel, whatever the Buffalo kicker name was. I mean, the Buffalo kicker missed what, a 35, 40-yard kick for the money? And again, did they have the technology? But yeah, could be, because he's made so many money kicks. They do the shaming, and they will let you live with that scar for the rest of your life. Like the kicker I mentioned from Buffalo, they still every now and then the Super Bowl time he get interviewed, and like, you're the one that missed the kick. Do you know how horrible that is? That's what you're known for the rest of your life, that you blew it. Them peoples monitor what the sheep are saying and adjust the scripts accordingly. Everybody riding the Bengals, they're probably going with the Rams. That's yeah, homie. That is perfectly what it is. It is a fluidness. Just as the games are, there's a fluidness in the game. Because again, they try and outsmart people that know it's scripted too. So there is a fluidness of the reality of the way they change it, the way they mixing it up, the way the in-game bets. Which receiver's gonna do what? Which running back's gonna get the yardage? How much is the quarterback throwing? All this in-game betting. And so it is a fluid the way it moves. And you know it's going on money. They looking at that money as it moves, because that money is moving too. You know, money is currency. It's charged. And so as the game goes on, they looking at the way the money is moving. And that's how they get the outcome. It's all a money thing. It was a blooper. Lucky base hit. Oh my goodness. I was just sitting there screaming at the TV. I was like, he does not give up hits. He does not. I was like happy when he came in. And yeah, he blew it. And that was a good Yankee team, and he blew it. I think Rivers was the last person to wear 42, so they let him keep it after he retired league-wide. Grandfather clause. Yeah. And now it's in every park. It's like a shaming in every freaking park. A shaming. Yeah, I hope not. He's a good kicker. I love playing kickers in DFS, but they talking about him too much. Could be. Could very well be. Let me lock the door. The girl's about to come out. Once I saw Clippers and Nets was going to go to finals last year, Kawhi and Kyrie got injured right after. Shoot, Kawhi been injured for years. He'd been really injured for years, and I think it finally, had to finally stop and get corrected. Oh, ACWE, what's happening? I was right. You was right. Never meant to win a championship. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Now Harding and Paul, you know, they'll never win. They're the lovable losers. Yeah, they're the lovable losers. See it, let Burrow have a game winning or a game tying drive when the rookie kicker finally misses a big kick. I kind of looked. I'm glad y'all brought that up because very well. I hadn't really thought about that or took that in consideration, and y'all could be right about that. Very well, because that's the shaming, you know. And as I said, that's a scar for the rest of your life. You know, that's a scar for the rest of your life. And that's a scar that most other players really won't get. Like, think about it like this. When Peyton Manning threw that pick six that lost the game for the Colts, that ain't a scar for him. That ain't a scar for him at all. Yeah, Rams magic is high. It is. It is. The shirts printed for the Super Bowl losers that were never given out were usually donated to charity. I bought a Patriots in 07 shirt that was never given out. You know, it's funny they were saying the shit go to Africa or some shit. That's what they always say is the stuff that loses, they send it overseas. Still have a future in the NBA. New York about to lift a mask mandate. So once they lift that mask mandate, he gonna play the rest of the home games. So yeah. You say Kyrie, right? Yeah. So they about to lift it. Hopefully the Rams kicker miss. That's funny. Hank Bassett choked. Well, you know, look at what happened to Hank afterward. You know, him and the wife had a show for a couple years, but he never really played. But yeah, Hank, that was on Hank. And Hank was told to fumble that ball. Because look at his effort. How ain't you paying attention? How aren't you paying attention? Okay. So yeah, Hank did choke. Dude that married the girl from the Playboy. Exactly. Hank played here. Hank got cut though when he played here. They actually used the draft pick, the kicker. Either they shame him or get some crazy long field goal to win. He's like a hero. Yep. Yep, him right in the face mask. Exactly. There's a chance he score all their points like under. Yeah, I already put my money in on the under. I'm taking the under. No doubt about that. I'm taking the under 48. I'm taking that. 2 years in a row, the home team gets a new quarterback. Brady, Stafford, both win Super Bowl. Makes perfect sense. That is a good decode. That is a good decode. I kind of like that decode. I think that does make sense. Wow. That's interesting. I'm excited. Well, here are the minis. So this is a Responsible Daddy Hour. Thank y'all. And say less. Say less, baby.